Hi, Marcy. I need a list of all the council members by 3 o'clock today. Thanks a lot, Marcy.
Okay, Mr. Kent.
Come on, Marcy, Honor Society meeting.
Mr. Coulter said I could get the information from someone else. I've got a drama club meeting now.
Okay, bye. God, drama club? Where is that stupid drama club?
Today's activities include the following. The sophomore volleyball game to be at 3 o'clock with the varsity game to follow. Cheerleaders to hang signs in the gym. Please report to Marcy Wilson. Marcy Wilson, Ginger Gates, and Bo Bradford should be allowed to pass through in classes today to hang the signs. Latin Club members, please report to Mrs. Christensen. Your fundraiser money is due. Thank you and have a nice day.
Days were getting shorter. Like every minute had fewer seconds in it. It was at least 2:30 in the morning before I get any sleep. And then I started waking up earlier and earlier. I couldn't keep up the pace.
Here, try these pills. There's nothing in them but caffeine. They call them turkeys.
Caffeine, nothing else.
All I know about is caffeine with extra caffeine.
Well, those pills worked for a while. But then I got to taking more and more of them, and it still wasn't enough.
Here, try these. Hey, chill! Take that many at once and you're dead. These are the real things. Browns, amphetamines. Just take 2 of them.
Well, they look just like the turkeys.
Morgues are full of people who thought that.
Well, those 2 uppers lasted me all morning. I could do everything. I thought I found the answer. Except that in a week I had to do 2 in the morning, and then 2 in the afternoon, and then in the evening. And then I was so hyped up that I couldn't fall asleep. And then I found Valium. I did uppers all day, then Valium at night to calm me down. The uppers went up even more, then downer wasn't downer enough. I started doing reds, barbiturates. Life turned into an elevator that was going 1,000 miles an hour, both ways at once, and always a heartbeat from crashing. Then one morning, even the Browns couldn't get me going. I had just enough mind left to see that I had to quit, but I didn't tell anybody. I thought I could bring myself out of it.
Marcy, you're sick?
Yeah, Mom.
Oh, they're not saying I'll take it to the doctor.
No, I'll be all right.
Are you sure? Okay, see you at 5:30 then.
So Mom went to work and I quit pills. The Browns were off by about 10 o'clock. I got scared. I almost took some more pills, but I knew I couldn't. And by noon I had the shakes. I tried to rest, but my stomach was turning and I got sick 4 or 5 times. I'd fall asleep, but I'd hallucinate and wake up gasping. And the shakes got worse. I thought maybe I'd feel better if I got dressed, so I dragged myself out of bed. But as I tried to walk, the shakes turned into convulsions. I gashed my face open on my dresser as I fell. The convulsions finally let up a little. I tried to reach my phone to call for help, to call Mom, to call someone. But I couldn't move. My muscles wouldn't respond. Then I remembered posters I had seen at school, drug counseling numbers and crisis lines, people in assemblies trying to tell me it was too dangerous to quit alone. I remembered, but I couldn't move to reach my phone. Then I felt it happen. I felt my body slowing down. My skin got cold and damp. I felt my breathing slowing down. It was still slowing down when my watch read 2 o'clock. And when it read 3 and 4, I never saw it read 5.
Superdome, 95,000 in Dallas, and 100,000 in LA. Our second album was released the opening day of the tour and went gold by noon. Our first album was still #1, and our new single topped the charts as soon as it was released. We were hot, and we were loving it. In concert, it was like having 100,000 people say I love you at the same time. Like an enormous wall of love. And you've got to give them all you've got, because it can never stop. Once you've had it, you can't do without it. And you can't do without the preparations either. The blade, the mirror, and that beautiful candy. I I spread those lines before a show, and for 2 hours, there's no place else in the world for that 100,000 or for me. Then when it's over, I can finally hear, and the roadies are busy sweating out front. Gather up my little freebase kit. Heat that stuff, smoke it, and it hits. Somebody's always trying to drag me, though, telling me I'm trashing my brain or murdering myself, or telling me about somebody that Coke killed. I just don't want to hear this stuff. Anyways, I don't have time to think about that. I've got a show to do.
The thing me and Angie used to like to do is to get a supply of quay and go out to this little airport. We'd sit by my car at the end of the runway and just watch them go. After a couple of quays, those things just seemed to hang in the air, going so slow you could almost count the rivets in them. We'd get weird or numb, and a couple of times Angie about went crazy on me. But, I don't know. We just kept doing them. One day, there was no action out by the runway, so we decided to go to the hangar. In the hangar, they were working on this big 2-engine plane with props 10 feet tall, going so fast you couldn't even see the tips. We had a couple of quays left, so we took those. When the quays hit, those props just seemed to slow down more and more, till they were moving like 2 ceiling fans in some old movie. All of a sudden, Angie says,
Hey, Dan, that prop's moving so slow. I bet I could walk right through it.
Yeah? Well, so can I. Props really were going full speed, though, when we walked into them. 10 feet tall and so fast you couldn't even see the tips. Angie lasted 2 days. I lasted 3. In enough pain to last 1,000 lifetimes.
We knew the opening show would be big, but when we hit the stage, we saw people from wall to wall. Biggest indoor crowd in history. The applause was so loud, we couldn't even hear to kick the next song.
Yeah. Kendra! Kendra!
We went back out. We played 3 encores. A helicopter was supposed to pick us up after the show, but the cops couldn't keep the cars off the landing pad, and nothing within 20 blocks was moving. So I saddled back to my old freebase kit to ride it out. Got the torch on and started to bake. I got the lighter down real close, so the first hit would be a killer. There was a big flare when it lit, but I had that before. I settled back on the old couch and waited for the bass to hit. It hit. I rolled my head back and forth, loving that rush. Then I caught enough reality to smell something burning. I spun my head and looked at the door, and I saw my hair go past my face. It was in flames. I twisted my head back and forth, trying to get the flames up, but that just spread to my clothes. I was screaming, but there was so much noise in the corridor that nobody could hear me. I ran into the hall. Somebody threw a blanket over and he put out the flame. The flames were out, but I couldn't really sense it. I felt like the burning was still going on, forever. I just have to wait.
There are 2 things you need to know to survive on the street. Both of them are me first. Make friends if they got good smack, or if they know a good connection. If things get slow, you can always rob them. Junkies don't press charges. Of course, you don't want to run into them again on the street. Very unstable characters. Mugging was my business. 2 months of living that way, then a guy in mud turned out to be an undercover cop.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be provided for you by the state.
They knew I was strung out, but they just threw me in jail with a bunch of drunks. In a couple of hours, it started to hit me.
Hey!
Shut up!
Sit down. You're making me nervous.
Shut up before I kill you!
Okay, ease off.
My muscles started cramping my arms and my legs. I fell out of the corner screaming my head off, but nobody came. Then my muscles started to start cramping up again in my stomach, and I started heaving, and I puked all over the floor.
Hey, get this grinder. She's making me sick.
Shut up in there!
I was sweating so bad my clothes were dripping. Then the spasms came again, and I just kept heaving and heaving, but there was nothing more to come out. So I just kept heaving until finally I fell asleep for a few minutes.
Judge time, Kudo! Come on, get up. Clean up and put these on. Come on. Move it. Stand back. Get in there.
Hey, don't I get any food in here?
You couldn't hold it.
Just bring me something.
I'll see what I can do.
That's what I want. I knew the lowest security in the building was right around this cell.
Stand clear of the door. Hey, are you all right in there? Hey, what's wrong? Oh!
I grabbed his tray and ran out. When I got near the courtrooms, I ran into the nearest John, climbed out through the window, threw off the tray, and started looking for a connection. I heard about this girl who's supposed to be hanging out by the bus station. She's supposed to have the best smack on the street. No strychnine in it. Top stuff. Gotten smacked?
Ian's asking. Kuda. I heard about someone named Kuda. She's locked up.
She's out. You got me smacked or not?
No.
Hey, I need that stuff.
You couldn't afford it.
I'm good for it.
Fine, cash first, jailbird.
Whatever you say, lady. She had 2 balloons and a kid. I saw a dumpster against the wall, so I ran to it. And I started getting the stuff ready as quick as I could. But I was in such a rush that I kept dropping the stuff, and it kept mixing with the oil in the bottom of the dumpster. So I brushed it all together. But there was so much oil with it that I had to fill the spoon a couple of times. Anyways, sat back, and shot up, and waited for it to hit. But it didn't. I started to search on the bottom.
That there were other kinds of jails. The drug abuse wing at Children's is one of the worst.
Grab a broom from that closet. I'll unlock the vegetable bin for you.
Vegetable bin?
You'll see.
She unlocked the vegetable bin. I saw a ward full of the most pitiful people I'd ever seen in my life. The stink was unbelievable. They looked like beaten, starving dogs. Each one had their own pain. One girl always flashed that there were fire ants in her fingers. She'd constantly slam her hands against the floor. She had broken all the fingers in her wrist. She had to be fed by an orderly. Another girl flashed that her tongue became a tarantula. She ripped it out. They found it on the floor. She kept flashing this so much that she had scratched the inside of her mouth, raw and bloody. You could see the marks on the outside. I saw what the judge was after. I quit PCP that day. I moved in with my grandma. It was nice living in a place where there was nothing in the brownies but chocolate. I was through with PCP. But the PCP wasn't through with me. I went to bed at about 10 o'clock. On January 16th, the 42nd day I'd been clean. At about 2 a.m., I woke up. There were rats chewing behind my eyes. They were just gnawing there like they were trying to eat something. I couldn't stand it, so I started shaking my head. Just shaking my head just so they would stop, but it didn't work. So I started slapping my head, doing anything to make them stop, but they kept chewing. They kept chewing, and I couldn't stand it. So I looked, and I found my grandmother's knitting needles. And I shoved the knitting needles in my eyes. I kept shoving and shoving until the rats finally quit chewing.
The Kenderstar Memorial Concert. Everybody stayed. Not one ticket was returned for a refund. Kenderstar died the way she lived, with that wall of love around her. But there are worse things than dying at the height of your career. You could be put in a home with a staff of 5 people taking care of you all the time. You could still listen to the radio, but know you'd never feel that wall of love again. You could be alive. Like this.
Autopsy log. Wilson, Marcy. Site of death, 883 Wilman Circle. Death due to respiratory arrest and subsequent brain death. Probable drug overdose. Traces of amphetamines and barbiturates in bloodstream. Carson, Dan. Site of death, ICU Scott Hospital. Death due to cardiopulmonary arrest, multiple lacerations, multiple dismemberment, internal hemorrhage, near decapitation by airplane propeller. Methaqualone present in bloodstream at time of incident. Last name unknown, Kuda, female. Site of death, garbage dumpster. Death due to heroin addiction, narcotic overdose, complicated by foreign body embolus, body unclaimed. Evans, Michael. Site of death, chemical abuse wing 110 Maple. Death due to earlier brain injury, complications of infection, secondary self-inflicted needle puncture wounds. History of drug abuse possibly contributory. Here, in Waukesha County, confidential drug and alcohol counseling is available from several agencies. No matter how serious the drug or alcohol problem you or someone you know, or even if you only have questions, do not hesitate to call. School counselors, drug administrators are also sources of advice and support. Please accept their help. It is not too late.
The ignorance of directors.
I'm working. I'm trying to get. All right, I'll get the pit. Wait, what do you got? Anybody? Hey, I didn't bring this thing on. I didn't need this.
Rob my set. Work on it.
All right. Sean.
You guys just lowered your grade considerably.
Stuff is for faces and legs only, people.
I almost dropped the ladder.
You alright?
And make your hair.
Is anybody mom? Who's getting one easier? Who's getting one? Oh, I have to see, but I didn't get one.
Check it out. It's a performance piece.
All right, places. Before we start tonight, let's people come out and make a little speech.
About shaving cream?
Anyone allergic to group shaving and cream together at the same time. Ever. That probably could have taken about half the time. No way, Sean.
Good morning, Mr. Bagley.
Oh, hello, Jill. It's nice to see a smiling face.
Mrs. Estes at this time. She's been buzzing and buzzing. The intercom won't begin.
Huh. I guess it won't.
Here, let me try. Now see if it'll work.
Mrs. Estes! Huh. Well, when all else fails, hit it with your fist, huh?
The best thing would be to buy a new one.
Yeah. I'll settle for some physics equipment first. Or a swimming pool.
Did Jill tell you?
Yes.
Nearly broke an eardrum. Anyway, Rick Fusser's in the outer office. He said you sent for him.
Yes, send him right in.
What's that smell?
Sit down, Rick. So, think we'll have any trouble defeating Whitefish Bay tonight? Have you any idea why I called you in here?
No, sir.
I've been going over your school record, Rick.
So?
Well, so you have a good mind. The CTBS tests prove it. And yet your grades certainly don't show that you've studied. Do you intend to go to college next year?
I'll get there.
Well, don't count on it. Colleges just aren't accepting students in the lower half of their classes anymore.
I play basketball, remember?
And you really feel you're that good? I see. Well, you're prominent in school activities, or let's say you have been. Earlier this fall, you were elected president of the senior class, possibly on your past record.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means this. Does the fact that you're a student leader mean anything to you, Rick?
Should it?
Leadership carries with it responsibilities. In your case, responsibilities to the younger students. Until last year, the faculty considered you a good leader. You used to be friends with everyone, students and faculty alike. But you've changed, Rick. Last year, you'd have never done what you did yesterday.
What did I do yesterday?
You did nothing. You did absolutely nothing.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means this. Yesterday, between 6th and 7th hours, you and your girl, Lisa Lucas, stood in the doorway of 4A and 4C while an undersized 10th grader was brutally attacked by some 10th graders. Our elbow club in action. You watched, but you didn't say a thing or lift a finger to help that boy.
So I was supposed to stop it?
Not supposed to, but you could have. A word from you, a senior, our top basketball player, could have stopped those boys. Made them feel ashamed of themselves. As it is, Stefan Plekovich is in the hospital with a broken arm, and those 10th graders have a week's detention.
So it's my fault?
No, Rick, it wasn't your fault. No more as if your neighbor's house had been on fire, and you had seen it but failed to turn in an alarm. After all, you didn't set the fire. It wasn't your house, so why lift a finger, even if innocent people got hurt?
That's not the same thing.
Oh, isn't it? Remember this, Rick. If we stand by, watch persecution of the other fellow, sooner or later it will happen to us.
I'll take my chances.
You might be doing just that. Someone in this school, a boy or girl, started this elbow club to work over all the nerds in this school. Oh, don't look so surprised, Rick. I know how it works. Only elbows are used, a semicircle around the victim, and then the victim is pushed down the stairs or into a hot radiator or into the shower with their clothes on. In its own way, it's as vicious and sadistic as the Gestapo. And the question is, who calls who a nerd? Are you listening, Rick?
I'm listening, sir.
I'll tell you why Stefan Plekovich was branded a nerd. Oh, good reasons, I'm sure. He speaks English with an accent, but he speaks 3 other languages very fluently. He plays the violin, and oh, what else? After waiting 7 years, he and his family managed to escape to this country to avoid persecution. Why aren't you laughing, Rick? Isn't that funny? You weren't laughing when Stefan fell down the stairs yesterday, either. Suppose someone you liked very much was branded a nerd. Or suppose you couldn't hit tonight when everyone wants to defeat Whitefish Bay. Or suppose... Just a minute. Yes? I'll be right down. I'll be right back, Rick. You wait here.
Oh, hello, Rick. I didn't know anyone was in here.
Oh, hi, Jill.
This file cabinet really should be in here, but we're so crowded in the workroom. How do you think you did on the English test yesterday?
I don't know. Probably a C.
I'm sure I missed one. Maybe more. Not much time to study.
How many hours do you work a day?
2, and an hour after school. Saturdays I work in a drugstore, and sometimes I babysit. I'm saving up my money, so if I'm lucky enough to get a scholarship, I can go to college. My folks can't help much.
Oh, well, I hope you make it.
Oh, thanks, Rick. Darn it, I'm on phones this morning. Well, isn't this cozy?
Lisa, what are you doing here?
I snuck out of study hall. I had to know what's happening to you.
Nothing much. Just some crap about the Elbow Club.
Well, tell Bagel for me there'll be a lot more crap before we work over all the nerds in this school. Keep them in their place, like that one yesterday. What's the nerd doing?
Making with the papers. What's it look like?
Hey, it's the master history test. The master copy. May I have it, Lisa? Just a minute.
Give it to her, Lisa.
All right, I'll give it to her. Sorry. Hey, I'll give you $1 for a copy. Don't be silly. Not enough. I'll make it 2. You'll excuse me. Look, you. Don't get so high and mighty with me. Or maybe you're just plain stupid. You must be. You'd have yourself a good racket selling test. Buy yourself some decent clothes.
Chill out, Lisa.
Give me one reason why I should.
Well,
Lisa Lucas, what are you doing in my office?
oh boy.
All right, this gives you a week's detention. Report to Mr. Arnott after school.
I can't. I'm going shopping with my mom.
Then phone your mom. In the meanwhile, get back to the study hall where you belong.
You'll be hearing from my mom about this.
If you'll excuse me.
No, wait a minute, Jill. Just set those papers down on the file cabinet and have a seat. Yesterday, when this business with Stefan came up, did I hear you mention you knew the family?
Not well. I've met them several times. They live on our block, but there's only Stefan and his parents.
Yes, there was an older boy, but he was killed in a resistance movement. Anyway, the Plekoviches have brought Stefan back from the hospital, and they're at school now. Mr. Arnott is showing them around downstairs. The best way to put a stop to this Elbow Club is for representative students, student leaders, if you will, to have a first-hand look at the results of such cruelty. Don't you agree, Rick?
Well,
Of course. I knew you would. So that's why, Jill, I want you to take Rick down and introduce him to the Plekoviches. After that, I've arranged for you two to have lunch with them in the faculty dining room.
What? I can't talk to them.
Oh, certainly you can. They're charming, cultured people. And they speak fluent English. You'll have no difficulty talking to them.
Mr. Bailey, I'd be glad to go, of course, but I don't think you understand. About Lisa.
Lisa? What's Lisa got to do with this?
Well, it's just she and Rick go steady. Have been since the beginning of the year. And
And what?
I don't want all the other kids to think.
I'm sure no one is going to think anything. After all, you're acting on my orders, right? Now let's see, what is that clause in the student handbook? Oh yes, here it is. In order for a student to remain in extracurricular athletics, he must maintain at least a C average and be cooperative with faculty members. If a student is uncooperative, he may be dismissed at any time upon recommendation of the coach or upon recommendation of the principal. Well, I'm sure you two don't want to be late for lunch. Oh, it was a tough one to lose, all right, our first state game.
Rick Fussell couldn't hear the thing. He even missed the easy shots. It seems his mind wasn't on the game, and he's been the high man all season.
Yes, well, I think Rick gained more than he lost yesterday. I had to use a little power play on him, but I think he's a fine boy, basically.
He was until this year. Then he got in with that smart aleck crowd.
Yes, well, peer pressure can be pretty strong. But I've backed him to a wall, and he's got to make a decision.
What's that?
I don't know. Come with me, Mrs. Estes. I think I may need you.
Come in this way, dear. Have a seat.
It's okay.
Did those girls push you down the stairs, Jill?
I can't. I read enough.
Never mind. I'll find out. Mrs. Estes, take her to the nurse.
If I could just wash my face.
Of course. You can use my washroom. Mrs. Estes, go with her, please.
No, I don't need anyone.
Shall I go anyway?
No, that's all right. Leave her alone.
The Elbow Club again. To see Jill on the bottom of the stairs looking like that. She wouldn't tell me if the girls did it or not.
Yeah, well, I have a pretty good idea.
What's the school interphone? The buzzer won't work again. That was Mrs. Hegel. She's sending Lisa Lucas down here, but she said she wanted to talk to you before you see Lisa.
Yes, well, I'll see Mrs. Hegel. And when Lisa comes, send her right in here.
Send her in here? She went through everything.
Everything's locked. Besides, I don't want her out in the outer office where the other students can see her. She thrives on publicity. Oh, and yes, I've sent for Rick Fessler, too. When he comes, send him in here as well.
In here? Oh, man, what a day.
Lisa.
How dumb does he think we are?
What do you mean?
Well, Bagel sent for you, didn't he? And he knew I got sent here. So he leaves us alone in the office with the intercom switch open so we can listen in.
That's bad. After what you pull?
Why, what do you mean?
News travels fast. I ran into Rob Harris in the hall, and he told me that you and your goons made with the elbows. So who was it?
Take a guess.
Not Jill.
Who else, a little creep? Trying to horn in on us, will she? How do you think I felt yesterday afternoon? Everybody laughing at me, asking if we'd split up. And you little creep, eating lunch in the faculty lunchroom, holding a chair for sweet little Jill, and that awful old woman.
She wasn't so awful, or that old. Besides, I liked them, the Plekoviches.
You liked them? And what about Jill? Did you like her too?
She was darn decent about it. She didn't want to go, on account of us.
She didn't my foot. She's had her on you for a long time. And come to think about it...
Yeah?
Skip it.
What happened to you last night after the game?
I went on to Pizza Hut with the gang. I thought I missed you.
Sure. When I hit good, I'm everyone's hero. But if I goof up just once, you're ready to make with the elbows.
Oh, it wasn't that bad. You'll get over it. You'll hit again.
And when I do, you'll be there?
Of course I will.
Well, you needn't bother. I've done a lot of thinking since last night when you cut out on me. I could have gotten over that, but this bit with Jill, that's it. We're over. Through. You got your walking papers, babe.
Why, you lousy creep!
All right, Lisa, report to Mr. Arnott's office. 4 other girls are waiting there for their mothers, and your mother is coming too.
My mother? Will you just wait till my dad comes?
Well, this intercom was off when I left the office, but it appears to be on now. So you can never be sure which way it will work. Anything wrong, Rick?
No. I'm fine. Mr. Bagley.
Yes, Rick?
I've done a lot of thinking since last night, and...
And?
If there's anything I can do to help stop the Elbow Club, well, I'm your man.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Oh, and Rick, I'm sorry I had to pull that power play on you yesterday. I'm afraid it might have upset your game.
I guess it did a little, but I think I learned more than I lost.
Such as?
Such as, well, maybe I do have a responsibility to the younger kids.
Then you have learned. All the education isn't done in the classrooms, you know. Well, you can go now, Rick. Thank you.
Mr. Bagley?
Yes.
Could I go see Jill? See if she's all right?
Yes, certainly. She's in the washroom. Oh, and Rick?
Yes?
Jill's a pretty nice girl. Good looking, too.
Yes, sir. She sure is.
Edson?
No, I'm not Edson. Are you Edson?
Why, yes, I am Edson.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Edson.
Pleasure's all mine, Dr. Henning.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Carter.
No, people, I'm Dr. Henning. Now, I know you from your pictures on file in my office, so let me introduce us. You're Edson, you're Baker, he's Carter, and I'm Dr. Henning.
Wait a minute, if you're Dr. Henning, and you're Baker, and you're Edson, then who's Carter?
You're Carter.
I'm Carter?
Yes.
Oh, all right. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr.
It's
Henning.
my pleasure.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Baker.
Oh,
Mr.
I
Carter.
see the problem. Look at your name tags.
Whoa, hey, I guess I'm Edson after all.
And I'm Dr. Henning.
And I'm Carter.
And it appears I'm Baker. No, these names are obviously wrong. I know I'm Dr. Henning. I can prove it. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny.
Did you ever hear such a thing?
That's deep.
Impressive.
Hey, you must be Dr. Henning.
Yes, I am.
Well, all right. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Henning. I'm not Edson.
Yes, I know that.
How do you do, Dr. Henning? I'm not Dr. Henning.
Oh, it's a great pleasure, Dr. Henning. I'm not Carter.
People, please, you must pay attention. Now, please, give me my name tag. Thank you, and here is yours. Now, if you two will please exchange yours. Now say your names.
I'm Carter.
I'm
Edson.
Baker.
Well,
And I'm Dr. Henning.
it's a pleasure to meet you, Dr.
I
Henning.
don't think that's necessary. Well, people, I suppose you're wondering why you're here.
I'm not wondering. Were you wondering?
No, I'm not wondering. Were you wondering?
Wondering what?
I don't know. What was I wondering about?
You want to hear people to play a game.
A game?
A game.
You want us to play a game?
Yes.
All right.
What kind of a game?
An experiment.
I used to do that, but my mother caught me and she gave me a spanking.
No, you don't understand. The game is not called experiment. It is an experiment. It's an experiment in mind warping through participatory sloganism.
Did you ever hear such a thing?
That's deep.
We
Impressive.
want to determine the effectiveness of modern advertising in its manipulation.
Manipulation.
I used to do that too, but my mother caught me and she gave me a
People,
spanking.
please, you must pay attention. Now, you will notice that there is in this room a light, a chair, and the door by which you entered.
Hey, I didn't notice that.
I noticed it.
You did? I didn't.
Well, I did.
Yeah, I noticed some lines on the floor.
That's good. Those lines divide the floor into 3 separate but equal sections. Now,
Hey, how about that?
I didn't notice.
Me neither.
we will start this game by choosing one of these sections. So please go to your section.
You want us to stand in the middle of one of the sections?
Yes.
Okay.
No, separate sections. Now, this is your territory. You own it.
I own this section?
Yes.
And I own this one.
Yes.
I don't like this game.
Here, take these. Commit these words to memory. Repeat these words in unison whenever the light goes on. Now, are there any questions?
Yeah, I don't like this game.
That's not a question.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine. That's all.
That's all.
And you want us to repeat this?
Yes.
Every time the light goes on.
Yes.
I don't like this game.
Now, when the door is closed, the game will begin. So when I leave, the game will begin.
You're leaving?
Yes.
Why?
Because my presence here may affect your response.
Oh, you won't affect my response. Will she affect your response?
She won't affect my response. Will she affect your response?
What response?
I forgot.
What response, Dr. Henning?
Never mind. Now, if there are no more questions, let's begin the game. I'll be watching and listening from my instrument panel.
This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine.
What's the name of this game?
I don't know.
What's the point of this game?
I don't know.
How do we play this game?
I don't know. This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine.
Do you think Dr. Henning knows?
She should know.
Know what?
I don't know.
This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine.
Well, if we don't know what the game is, how do we know when it's over?
Dr. Henning will tell us.
But Dr. Henning isn't here.
Hey, that's right.
Well, she's coming back.
How do you know?
Well, why would she just leave us here?
How do we know she won't?
Hey, that's right.
This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine.
Go ask her, Edson.
All right.
Hold it. You didn't say may I. You go, Carter.
May I?
Yes.
But I don't want to.
But you have to. I gave you permission.
But I don't like this game.
I'll go then.
We're locked in.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Why do you think she locked us in?
She probably doesn't want us to get out.
Do you think that's it? But why would she just want us to stay here? Oh, this is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine. Yeah, I wonder why there's only one chair in here. Or what do you suppose these lines are for? Hey, do you think they'll give me a shock if I touch them?
They won't give you a shock.
How can they give you a shock? There aren't any wires.
Go ahead. Touch it.
Why don't you?
What? Get a concussion?
How can you get a concussion? There aren't any wires.
Well, then you do it.
No way.
Get electrocuted?
I'll do it. I'll do it. This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine.
Get your foot off my property, Carter.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Hey, you know, I think Henning screwed up.
What do you mean, Henning screwed up?
My territory is smaller than yours.
No, it's not. They're all the same size.
Oh, no, look at it. Doesn't mine look smaller?
It's the shape, that's all. Yours just has a different shape.
Do you think that's it?
Yeah, it's the shape.
Well, it looks smaller to me.
That's because you're standing in it. If you were where we are, you could tell that they're the same size.
Well, look, why don't we just reset the boundaries so our areas will be the same shape as well as the same size?
Why should we?
So there won't be any doubt about it.
There is no doubt in my mind.
Mine either.
Well, there is in mine. I think Henning screwed up.
Look, Carter, I am perfectly satisfied with my boundaries as they are. I don't want them moved. Is that clear?
Well, what are you getting so upset about? All I want to do is reset some boundaries.
Well, they belong to us, Carter, so leave them alone.
Well, they're my borders, too.
So move them into your territory, not into ours.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, I know what you're after. You're not getting any of my territory.
Now, will you calm down, Carter? You're getting upset over nothing.
Hey, this is my land. It is mine. It is beautiful, and it is mine. Well, all right. All right. If my territory is so important to you, then go ahead, take it.
I don't want it.
Yo! Listen, if he's willing to give up his territory, we'd be fools not to take advantage.
Hey, wait, I changed my mind. You can't have it. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm inspecting my country, of course. What does it look like I'm doing?
Well, just don't get too close to my border when you're doing it.
Stay off my borders.
Hey, that's enough, Carter. You're deliberately trying to provoke us.
I am not. Can I help it if I have so little room that I can't move anywhere without stepping on a border?
You have just as much room as we do.
Yeah, stay on your own property.
Hey, if I want to cross my own border, I will.
Hey, I wouldn't try it if I were you, Carter. This is my land, mine. And yeah.
You know, I just realized something. My borders are much more strategically placed than yours.
What do you mean more strategically placed? They're the same as ours.
They are not. I have the door.
Wait, you do not have the door. The door belongs to all of us.
It does not. It's on my property.
It is not on your property, Baker. It signifies the boundary to your property. Carter's right. If it belongs to anyone, it belongs to all of us.
Yeah, what he said.
So you say. But if you had the property, you'd claim the door is yours too.
Don't be a fool, Baker. Of what possible use would a door be to me?
This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine.
Well, I have the chair.
So what?
Well, so you don't.
Why would I want one?
Well, that's easy for you to say, seeing as how you don't have one.
Carter, will you shut up?
There you see, you want my chair too, don't you?
No, I don't want your stupid chair.
Oh, yes, you do want it. That's why you want me to shut up. Hey, you're jealous because you don't have one.
Now tell me, Carter, of what possible advantage is there in having a chair?
Well, I can sit on it.
Well, we can sit on the floor just as well.
Oh, yes, but the floor isn't nearly as clean as this chair. And the chair is far more comfortable, too.
I assure you, Carter, your stupid chair is of no interest to me.
Edson wants my chair. Edson wants my chair.
Will you shut up? I don't want your chair. I don't need it. I've got something better.
What? What do you have?
Never mind.
You do not have something better.
I do so.
What is it?
My area is larger than yours.
It is not.
It is too.
You heard Dr. Henning. The room is equally divided.
That's what she said, but it isn't true. My area is actually larger than yours.
It is not.
It is too.
It is not. It just has a different shape, that's all.
No, that is not all. My area is larger. I measured it.
How could you measure? You don't have a measuring tape.
I pasted off.
He pasted off.
I did.
Maybe you did, but you didn't paste our area off.
So?
So if you didn't paste our area off, how do you know that your area is larger?
Yeah, how?
Henning told me.
Did not.
Did too.
Then how come we didn't hear her?
Because she whispered it to me.
Liar.
Why would I lie? What purpose would I have in lying?
Do you think he's lying, Carter?
Yeah, probably.
I am not.
Well, why would Henning tell you something like that?
Because it's true.
Well, why would she say it?
How should I know?
I'll tell you why. Because it didn't happen. You invented it.
Well, if you wish to believe that, you may.
Well, I still have the best territory.
You have not.
The chair, remember?
He's right, Edson. I forgot about the chair.
The chair. Don't you see that it's to our advantage that he has the chair?
How?
Yeah, how?
With the chair in the middle of his territory, he ends up with less room than us.
Yeah, that's right.
It is not.
It is too. Because of that precious chair of yours, we have more territory than you do.
You do not. I can move the chair.
Yes, but no matter where you move it, it always takes up space.
Carter has less room than us. Carter has less room.
This is my land. It is mine. It is beautiful and it is mine. I do not. I have more room.
How?
I have 2 levels, and you only have 1.
But it still takes up space.
No. It provides more space.
How?
Surface area. I have more surface area than you do. I have the sides of the chair as well as the top.
Now tell me, Carter, of what possible advantage and what use are the sides of a chair?
Well, my area is also more scenic than yours.
It is not.
It is too. See, yours is flat and unimaginative.
Hey.
I have mountains.
Mountains? Mountains?
Well, if I want my chair to be mountains, who are you to criticize?
Aren't you going a little bit too far, Carter? I mean, mountains.
And besides, my ocean is much more attractive than your mountains.
Ocean? Where is your ocean?
Right there.
How can that possibly be an ocean?
If I want it to be an ocean, it'll be an ocean.
Yeah.
You can't just make an ocean, you know.
Why not?
Well, you just can't, that's all. It ain't fair.
Well, if you can have mountains, I don't see why I can't have an ocean.
It's because you don't have anything to make an ocean with, Baker.
If a chair can be mountains, then why can't the floor be an ocean?
Then where is the land, Baker?
What?
Yes, Baker, where is the land?
Well, it's not fair for Carter to have the chair.
She's right, Carter. You have to give up the chair.
Hey, I do not. This chair is mine. It's mine, and I'm keeping it.
But he gives you an unfair advantage over us.
Well, you should have thought of that before.
But we didn't know how important it would be.
That's not my problem.
But it isn't fair.
Carter, I think it's only fair that you share the chair with us.
It's not a chair. It's mountains.
Well, then you should share your mountains.
Don't be stupid. You can't share mountains. You can't move them. Besides, I can stand on this, too. See?
So what?
Oh, well, don't you see? This makes me God.
It does not make you God.
It does, too.
How can standing on a chair make you God?
Because I am higher than you are.
Somehow that logic escapes me.
Well, it makes me a king, then.
How?
Don't ask him, Baker. He'll just confuse you.
It makes me a king because I am master over all I survey.
Big deal. So am I.
Yes, but I can see further than you can because I am higher up.
So you're higher, so what? You can't see any further than the wall no matter how high you are.
How do you know?
What do you mean?
How do you know I can't see further?
Because I can see everything you can.
You can't. See, I'm higher up and I can see clearer and further. I can see outside the room even.
How can you? There aren't any windows.
Well, the wall is transparent higher up. Yeah, see, I can see for miles. Ha. Woo.
Do you think you really can, Edson?
Of course not. He's making it up.
It isn't fair to him to have the chair all to himself. It just isn't fair.
Hey, what are you two talking about?
Nothing, Carter. Nothing that would interest you.
You were talking about me, weren't you?
What if we were? If we want to talk about you, we will.
Well, you have no right to talk about me.
Well, if you can see for miles, then we can talk about
Well, all right. I promise not to look out of the room if you promise to stop talking about me, okay?
Okay, fine. Agreed.
This is my land, it is mine, it is beautiful, and it is mine.
Could you really see for miles, Carter?
Yeah, I don't want to talk
Of course
about
he couldn't.
How do you know, though? Maybe he really could.
it. Hey, you two said you wouldn't talk about me.
Sorry, Carter. Won't do it again.
Yeah, better not.
Carter, like I said before, I think it's only fair that you share the chair with us.
And like I said before, it's not a chair, it's mountains.
And like I said before, you should share your mountains with us.
Can't move mountains.
Well, we could come to them.
Oh, no, I know what you're after. You want to come into my territory, don't you? Huh. Well, you can't. You
Well,
gotta
if
stay
you're
away.
not going to give up the chair, then give us some of your property.
Well, I will not. Why should I?
Because with the chair, you have more than we have.
Well, that's what I've been trying to tell you.
But it isn't fair.
Will you stop it with this isn't fair business? I'm sick of hearing it. Hey, get away from my border.
Well, I still have the door, and you can't get out of here unless you come onto my property.
Oh, what good is the door? You can't open it from the inside.
Well, I have it, and that is just as good as a chair.
Hey, get away from my border. Stay off my property.
This is
my land. It is mine. It is beautiful, and it is mine.
This is my property now.
It is not. Now get off.
No, I know what you were going to do with that chair. You were going to invade us. Admit it. Well, I beat you to it.
And I claim this piece for the same reason.
Hey, get off my territory.
Edson was right. You were planning on attacking us. You weren't satisfied with your own property. You wanted ours too.
What would I want yours? I'm happy with what I have.
Don't give us that. You were going to invade us.
I wasn't. I really wasn't.
Don't try and fool us, Carter.
Well, all right. If you two are going to invade my land, then I'm invading yours.
Hey, you get out of my land.
Hey, that's my chair.
It was your chair. I claim it by right of conquest.
But it should be mine, Baker. After all, you have the door.
I'll be fair about it. You can have the door.
Well, look, there's a door on the other side of your property.
Hey, how about that?
Hey, that's my chair. You gotta give it back.
Well, you can't have it. Now I'm God.
Well, then I claim this territory in order to protect my border.
To get away from there.
No, and I claim this territory
Get
for the
off
same
my
reason.
property. Get off.
Hey, you get away from that chair. That's my chair.
No, it should be mine. It's my chair, not yours.
It's over, Carter. It's over.
He took my chair.
It's just a game, Carter.
But it's my chair, and he took it.
Just a game. Carter, get over here.
This land belongs to Baker. You're not Baker. I'm Baker. Get off.
Dr. Henning.
This land belongs to Edson. You're not Edson. I'm Edson.
Dr. Henning.
Get off.
Hey, this land belongs to Carter. You're not Carter.
Get
I'm
off
Carter.
my
That's
property.
Carter.
Get
This
off
is my land. It is mine. It is
Get
mine.
off. Get off.
Get off. Get off.
It's all mine.
This is
My land. It is mine. It is beautiful and it is mine.
Exactly what's wrong with
There's nothing wrong with me.
this irritability indicates that there's some suppressed desire.
I'm suffering from a suppressed desire for a little peace.
Stephen, Dr. Russell is doing wonderful things with nervous cases. Won't you go to him?
No!
But Stephen!
Shh! I hear your sister Mabel coming. Let's not be at each other's throats the first day of your little sister's visit.
Good morning. Good morning, Mabel.
Good morning, Mabel.
I was going to let you sleep, thinking you'd be tired after your trip, but there's coffee and there'll be some...
I ought to have told you. I'm not eating breakfast.
Not eating breakfast?
The psychoanalytical look.
Mabel, why aren't you eating breakfast?
Why, no particular reason. I just don't care much for breakfast. That is, it's a good thing to go without.
Did you sleep well last night?
Oh, no.
Why, yes, I slept fine. Only I did have the funniest dream.
A dream? What did you dream, Mabel?
Look here, Mabel. I feel it's my duty to warn you. Don't tell Henrietta your dreams, or else you'll find out you have some underground desire to kill your father and marry your mother.
Don't be absurd, Stephen Brewster. What did you dream, dear?
I dreamed I was a hen.
A hen?
Yes, and I was pushing along through a crowd as fast as I could. But being a hen, I couldn't move very fast. It was like having on a tight skirt, you know. And there was some sort of strange creature in a blue cap, and he kept shouting after me, "Step, hen! Step, hen!" until I got all excited and I just couldn't move anymore.
You say you became excited?
Oh yes, I was in a terrible state.
This is significant.
She dreams she's a hen. She is told to step lively. She becomes violently agitated. What can it mean?
Mabel, do you know anything about psychoanalysis?
Well, it has something to do with nuclear war, doesn't it?
Not that kind of war.
I thought it might be the name of some new weapon.
It is.
You see, we do not keep in touch with intellectual things as you do, Bob, being a dentist. Somehow
Mabel, are you perfectly happy with your husband?
Oh, please, Henrietta, that's going a little strong.
Are you perfectly happy with him, Mabel?
Why, yes, I guess so. Well, of course I am.
Are you happy, Mabel, or do you only think that you are? Or do you only think you ought to be?
Why, Henrietta, I don't know what you mean.
This is what she means, Mabel. Psychoanalysis. My work table groans with it. Books by Freud, The New Messiah, the Psychoanalytical Review. The list goes on and on.
But what's it all about?
It's all about your non-conscious mind and desires you know not of. They may be doing a great deal of harm. You may go crazy with them. Oh yes, people are doing it right and left.
Any fool can ridicule anything.
What do you say it is, Henrietta?
Oh no, if Henrietta's gonna start that again.
It's like this, Mabel. You want something, but you think you can't have it. So your mind protects you, avoids pain by refusing to think the forbidden thing. But the forbidden impulse is there. It's just locked in your unconscious mind and it festers.
Sort of an ingrowing mental toenail.
Precisely. It's there and it's just full of energy which has simply got to do something. It breaks into your consciousness in disguise, masks itself into dreams, and can cause all sorts of trouble. In extreme cases, it can drive you insane.
Oh.
But psychoanalysis has found a way to save us from all that. It brings into consciousness the suppressed desire that was making all the trouble. Psychoanalysis is simply the latest scientific method of preventing and curing insanity.
It is also the latest scientific method of separating families.
Families that ought to be separated.
The Dwights, for instance. You must have met them, Mabel, when you were here before. Well, Helen was living apparently in peace and happiness with Joe. Well, she went to the psychoanalyzer. She was psyched. And bang, she comes home with an unsuppressed desire to leave her husband.
Oh, how terrible. But did she have such a suppressed desire?
First she known of it.
And she left him?
Yes, she did.
Wasn't he good to her?
Why, yes, good enough.
Wasn't he kind to her?
Yes.
And she left her good, kind husband?
Mabel, how naive you are. She found herself, and she had the courage.
I may be very naive, but I don't see the good in a new science that breaks up homes.
Well, in enlightening Mabel, we mustn't neglect to mention the case of Art Holden's private secretary, Mary Snow. She was just informed of her suppressed desire for her employer.
Her employer? But is he married?
Wife and 4 children.
Well, then what good does it do the girl to be told that she has a suppressed desire for him?
Old institutions will have to be reshaped in such cases. It happens, Mabel, that this desire was on the point of landing Mary Snow in the insane asylum. Are you so narrow-minded that you'd rather have her in the insane asylum than break the conventions?
Have people always had these awful suppressed desires?
Always.
But they've just been discovered.
The harm they do has just been discovered, and free, sane people must face the fact that they need to be dealt with.
I don't believe they have them in Chicago.
People have them wherever the living libido, the center of the soul's energy, is in conflict with petrified moral codes. That means everywhere in civilization, Mabel. Psychoanalysis
Good God, I've got the roof in the cellar.
The roof in the cellar.
That's what psychoanalysis does.
That's what psychoanalysis could undo. It's no wonder I'm worried about him, Mabel. The other night, he dreamed that he was in our room and the walls melted away, and he found himself alone in a forest. Don't you see how significant it is for an architect to have walls slip away from him? It symbolizes a loss of grip in his work and his life and... Mabel, Earth to Mabel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just happened to be thinking of that Mabel Snow you were talking
Mabel
about.
Snow?
Snow. Well, what was her name then?
Her name is Mary Snow. You substituted your own name for hers.
Well, Mary Snow, then. I only heard her name once.
But Mabel, mistakes like that in names...
They don't mean something too, do they?
I'm sorry, but they do.
But I'm always doing that.
Mabel, tell me about it.
About what?
About your not being happy, about your longing for another sort of life.
But I don't.
Mabel, I understand these things. You feel Bob is limiting you to a life in which you don't feel free.
Henrietta, when did I ever say such a thing?
Don't be afraid of me, Mabel. I invited you to come and visit because I had a feeling that you needed more from life than you were getting. You don't eat breakfast. You substitute your own name for another whose love is misdirected. You look strange. In your eyes there's a frightened look that's most unlike you. And this dream, a hen? Come with me this afternoon to Dr. Russell, Mabel. Your whole life may be at stake.
Henrietta, you were always the smartest in the family and all that. But this is awful. I don't think we ought to think such things. Why, I'll tell you why I dreamed I was a hen. It's because last night, telling about that time in Chicago, you said I was as mad as a wet hen.
Did you dream you were a wet hen?
No, No, you dreamed you were a dry head. And while being a dry head, weren't you urged to step?
Maybe it's because when I'm getting on the stepway, it always irritates me to have him call step lively.
No, Mabel, that's the childish view of the dream. You don't see into the dream. You don't see its meaning. This dream of the hen...
Hen! Wet hen, dry hen, mad hen! Let me out of this!
Just a minute, dear, and we'll have things in peace and quiet so you can work. Mabel and I will talk in our room.
I'm going to be psychoanalyzed. I'm going now. I'm going straight to that infallible doctor of hers, that priest of this new religion. Don't tell Henrietta I'm going. It might take weeks, and I couldn't stand all that talk.
Where's Stephen? Gone? You see how impatient he is, how unlike himself. Well, if he's gone, there's no reason you should have to leave. I'm going to have to leave you to yourself, though, for an hour or two because I have a meeting at the bookshop. Here. This is one of the simplest statements of psychoanalysis. You just read this and then we can talk more intelligently.
Am I unhappy?
What are you doing, my dear?
My paper for the Liberal Club.
Your paper on
a subject which does not have your sympathy.
Oh, Henrietta, I'm not wholly out of sympathy for psychoanalysis. You work so hard on it. I couldn't even take a bath without it meaning something.
I only talked about it because I knew you needed it.
You haven't said much about it these last few weeks. Your faith in it hasn't weakened any?
Weakened? It's grown stronger with each new thing I've come to know. Mabel is with Dr. Russell now, and from what she tells me, I believe his analysis is going to prove that I was right.
What, that you want to leave her good, kind husband, Bob? Don't you think it's just going to be a little rough on him?
It can't be helped. Bob, like everyone else, must face the facts of life. If Dr. Russell does arrive independently at the same conclusion, I won't hesitate to advise Mabel to leave him.
How long has we've lived here, Henrietta?
This is the 3rd year, Stephen.
One would miss of you if one went away, wouldn't one?
What are you talking about, Stephen? I wish you'd go see Dr. Russell.
How long have we been married, Henrietta?
Stephen, I don't understand you. You must go see Dr. Russell.
I have gone.
You what?
Yes, Henrietta, I've been psyched.
You went to Dr. Russell?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said... I was surprised by what he said, Henrietta.
Well, Stephen, of course, one can seldom anticipate, but the dream, it means...
It means... I was surprised by what it means, Henrietta.
Don't be so exasperating.
He said... Of course he may be wrong in what he said.
He isn't wrong. Tell me.
He said my dream of the walls receding and leave me alone in the forest indicates a suppressed desire.
Yes?
To be free from marriage.
Marriage?
Maybe he's wrong, Henrietta.
Maybe he's wrong?
Well, of course I didn't believe it myself. I had known it was
Stephen, are you telling me that Dr. Russell, Dr. A.E. Russell told you this?
Yes.
Told you that you have a suppressed desire to separate from me?
Yes.
Did he know who you were?
Yes.
And that you were married to me?
Yes, he knew that.
And he told you to leave me?
That's what he said.
And I've sent him more patients. What reason did he give for this analysis?
He said the balls resemble my feeling about marriage, and that they're fading away as a wish fulfillment.
Well, is it? Do you want our marriage to end?
You see, it was a great surprise to me. I had known it was my unconscious mind.
What did you tell Dr. Russell about me to make him think that you weren't happy?
I never told him a thing, Henrietta. I tried to refute his arguments, but he said it was all part of my self-protective line.
And that's why you were so happy when you came in.
Henrietta, how can you say such a thing? I was sad. Didn't I speak sadly of the view? Then I asked how long we've been married.
Have you no sense of the seriousness of this? Dr. Russell doesn't know what our marriage has been. You do. You should have laughed him down. Confined in life with me. Didn't you tell him I believe in freedom?
I told him that his results were a great surprise to me.
But you accepted them.
Oh, not at all. I tried to refute his arguments, but he said it was all part of my self-protective line.
Stephen, if you're leaving, I wish you'd go tonight.
Henrietta, surely I couldn't do that. Think of my feelings.
No, Stephen, some women would falter at this, but not me. I leave you free. Psychoanalysis has done great things, but it has also made mistakes. I have my paper to work on. I wish you would leave.
I'm sorry, Henrietta, about my unconscious mind.
Henrietta, he's found it!
Who has found what?
Who has found what? Dr. Russell's found my suppressed desire.
That's
The
interesting.
most amazing way. But oh, Henrietta, it's so awful.
Calm yourself, Mabel. Surely there's no need for such agitation.
But there is. And when you think of the lives that are affected, the readjustments that must be made in order to bring the suppressed desire out of me and save me from the insane asylum.
The insane asylum?
You said that's where these complexes brought people.
What did the doctor say, Mabel?
I don't know how I can tell you, Henrietta. It's so terrible.
Tell me anyway.
Dr. Russell is perfectly certain that I have a suppressed desire for...
Mabel, I'm not unprepared for what you have to say.
You mean you have suspected it?
From the beginning. It's been my theory all along.
But Henrietta, I myself didn't know that I had the suppressed desire for Stephen.
Stephen?
My brother-in-law, my own sister's husband.
You have a suppressed desire for Stephen. Why? What did the doctor say, Mabel?
You know that voice in my dream that called Step Hen?
Yeah.
Dr. Russell found out today that when I was a child, I had a storybook in words of one syllable. And I read the name Stephen wrong. I read it S-T-E-P, Step, H-E-N, Hen. Step Hen is Stephen.
Step Hen?
Step Hen, for that ridiculous coincidence.
Coincidence? But it's childish to look at the mere elements of a dream. You have to look into it. You have to see what it means.
Suppose I am Step Hen. What does it mean?
It means that I have a suppressed desire for you.
For me? Well, what makes you think so?
Dr. Russell has it worked out scientifically.
Oh, yes, through the amazing discovery that Step Hen equals Stephen.
But that isn't all. That isn't near all. Henrietta won't give me a chance to tell it. She'd rather I go into the insane asylum than be unconventional.
Well, I'll go to the insane asylum waiting for you to give some rational report.
You see, I dreamed I was a hen because of the first syllable in Henrietta's name. When I dreamed I was a hen, I was putting myself in Henrietta's place.
With Stephen?
Yes. But that isn't all about the name.
Mabel, have you thought of Bob? Dear old Bob, your good, kind husband.
Oh.
He's out there in Chicago working his head off. He's fixing people's teeth for you.
Yes, but think of the living libido, in conflict with petrified moral codes, and just think of the perfectly wonderful way the names all prove it. Just look at Stephen's last name, Brewster. I dream I'm a hen, and then the name Brewster. You have to say its first letter by itself. And then the hen, that's me. She says to him, Stephen, be Rooster. If it weren't for psychoanalysis, you'd never know how strange your own mind really is.
Stephen, be Rooster.
You think it's funny, do you?
Well, what happens now? Does Mabel have to go away with me?
Do you want to go away with Mabel?
Well, Mabel, herself, her complex, her suppressed desire.
Mabel, are you going to insist on going away with Stephen?
I'd rather go with Stephen than go into the insane asylum.
Drop that insane asylum idea. If you did have an underground desire, God knows it isn't hidden now. Dr. Russell has brought it out with a vengeance. That's all that's necessary to break up a complex. Psychoanalysis doesn't say you have to gratify every suppressed desire. Why don't you stick to your own husband? So what if she desires you? Does that mean she has to have you too?
But you said maybe
have a pleasant visit. And now you and Stephen, and you both insisted.
Oh, dear. Your paper's on psychoanalysis.
I don't want my papers on psychoanalysis. I'm sick of psychoanalysis.
You mean that, Henrietta?
Why shouldn't I mean it? Look at all I've done for psychoanalysis, and what has psychoanalysis done for me?
Do you mean you'll stop talking psychoanalysis?
Why shouldn't I? I mean, haven't I seen what it does to people? Look at Mabel. She's gone crazy about psychoanalysis.
You promise never to wake me up in the middle of the night to find out what I'm dreaming.
Dream what you please. I don't care what you're dreaming.
Will you clear my work table off so that Journal of Morbid Psychology doesn't stare at me in the face whenever I'm trying to plan a house?
I'll burn the Journal of Morbid Psychology.
My dear Henrietta, if you are going to separate from psychoanalysis, there's no reason why I should separate from you.
Really? But what about me? What am I supposed to do with my suppressed desires?
Oh, Mabel, you just go right on suppressing it.
Woody, this is Amy. I have a great news item for you. Snowy White, the greatest singer and entertainer in the world. No, wait a minute, Woody. He needs a little publicity in between engagements. He's not through. He has an audition at a nightclub in Chicago next week. Look, can't you just say it's his birthday or something? Oh, you said that last time. Just put his name in your column. That's all I ask. Wait, I have news. Snowy White and I are getting married. 2 weeks from Tuesday. We met on a Tuesday and we're sentimental about it. You will? Oh, thanks, Woody. Thanks a lot. I'll send you an invitation. Bye.
Nice try. Thanks, Miss Press Agent.
Well, we are getting married. Someday.
Yeah, someday. Now to get you a medal, not a wedding ring. It's been 5 years.
5 years and 16 days.
I don't know why you stay around.
Something will turn up.
Sure, maybe another unemployment check.
A job at that club in Chicago.
Maybe.
I think so. I read your horoscope, and for the first 3 months of this year, there's a prediction that a large sum of money will be coming into
I
your
won't
life.
turn it down.
And then we can get married.
Is that what your horoscope says?
Mine? Oh, never mind what mine says.
Not so good, huh?
Well,
Well, come on, tell the greatest entertainer in the world.
it says I'll have lots of competition in the romance department.
Competition? Girls fighting over me?
Oh, who believes that astrology junk anyway?
Registered letter from Mr. Snowy White.
I'll sign for it. Thank you. It's for you. Maybe it's an offer to do a TV commercial.
Maybe it's a bill collector.
Go ahead, open it.
It's either somebody's trying to sue me, or I'm chasing down for unpaid bills.
Go on, open it. You can always throw it away.
What? I can't believe it.
I knew it. I knew something good was going to happen. I could feel it.
My Uncle Otto died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not. He was 101 years old, and he left me $1 million.
I knew it. Your horoscope said there would be a lot of money.
Say, I'll start believing in that stuff too. Here, read this letter.
It doesn't say $1 million.
It says a considerable estate. But I happen to know my uncle was a millionaire. I haven't seen him in years. I was his only heir.
Oh, Snowy, $1 million. Think what you can do with it. You could move into a penthouse and buy a Rolls Royce.
You haven't said the usual. Now we can get married.
No, now it's up to you. Don't you see? Now there's nothing in the way. Someday is here.
Does a Mr. Snowy White live here?
Yes, he does.
B.J. Randall, Randall, Wickover, Pennyworth, and Smith. I'm here to read you the will of the late Otto S. Runkenfeld.
Oh, you're one of the lawyers that wrote me this letter.
Yes, I had the privilege of serving as the attorney for the late Otto S. Runkenfeld for the past 7 years.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Mr. Randall, I'd like you to meet my fiancée, Amy Baxter.
Right. It's pleased to meet you. Is it all right if I read the will in front of the young lady?
Of course, she is going to be my wife.
Well, I don't know.
Excuse me, aren't you being a bit presumptuous?
Well, there's something in the will. You see, it's like this.
I know. He lost all the money in Las Vegas.
No. The $1 million is still there. But there are certain provisions.
Is there a dog or cat or something I have to take care of? My uncle sure loved dogs and cats. And women.
It does have something to do with women.
Women?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Mr. White.
Mr. Randall, will you please skip all being of sound mind and body and just tell me what's in the will?
Right. Mr. White, you will inherit $1 million. But...
That's what I was afraid of.
But you will have to get married within 21 days. You see, your uncle believed in marriage. After all, he was married 6 times himself.
No problem. Me and Amy will get married tomorrow.
But I'm afraid there is a problem. You see, your uncle has picked out 6 eligible girls for you to choose from.
What?
That's it. Those are the terms of the will.
It's been nice knowing you, Mr. Snowy White.
Where are you going?
Back to my apartment. Back to my secretarial job at the cookie factory. I can't stand between you and $1 million. It was nice to meet you, Mr. Randall. Nice meeting you, Snowy.
Yes, Woody, it's all true. Craziest thing, too. My uncle died and left me $1 million. There are 6 girls he wants me to marry. I mean, I have to marry one of them within 21 days, or the $1 million will go to, I don't know. I didn't ask all the details in the will. I was furious. After all, Amy and I. Hey, what? You got a job for me at the 3 Fountains? Hey, that's great, Woody, but the Cartwright Club wants me too? And the Imperial Room? When I didn't have a dime, nobody wanted me. Hold a minute, Woody. There's someone at the door. Come in.
Hello, I'm Cindy Vanaman.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry, miss. I'm on the phone. Could you please come in and sit down? I'll be through in a minute. Yeah, Woody. I'm holding off all club engagements for at least 21 days. I have to get my personal life in order. But you'll keep putting my name in your column. Thanks, that's great. Sure, I'll let you know as soon as I get some news. Thanks, Wood. Yep. Bye. So, you must be one of Uncle Otto's girls.
Right. I don't think Uncle Otto would approve of the way you live. Uncle Otto would never live like this. He
Why?
wanted everything in perfect order.
He could afford it. I have to do everything myself.
You need someone to organize your life.
Someone like you?
Well, yes, now that you mention it, I happen to be an efficiency expert.
Oh?
Now, if you decide to stay in this apartment, and I hope not, but if you do, I'd have a carpenter come in and build shelves and built-in furniture in the walls so that your newspapers and magazines wouldn't have to be all over the floor.
Well, that's the way I like them.
And a refrigerator over there, and a bar over there for your drinks. Plus a built-in filing system.
A filing system? What for?
I understand you're a singer and an entertainer.
I am.
No wonder you're so impractical. Must be your artistic nature.
Maybe.
You do need someone like me.
I do?
Yes, I would start a clipping file of all your newspaper publicity in the United States and Europe, and then I'd hire a secretary to write letters to the owners of all these clubs.
Not a bad idea.
Of course, that's only beginning. I'd also hire a press agent for you. It pays in the long run. And we'd have him send out publicity releases once or twice a week to all the nightclub owners in Europe and the United States.
Say, should I have met you before?
Is that a compliment?
You really are a whirlwind.
Thank you. Of course, I'm very experienced in these matters. I have 3 degrees from prestigious universities as well as excellent business training. I had my own firm and was a consultant for your Uncle Otto's various enterprises as well.
Now, I can see why Uncle Otto sent you, but would you marry a man for $1 million?
It's a very practical idea.
Have you ever thought about anything like love?
Very impractical.
I do have 5 other girls to interview.
Yes, I know. They're waiting in the lobby.
They are?
Yes.
Well, how come you're first?
I talked them into it. I used logic.
I'll bet you did.
Anyway, I made a reservation for us tomorrow night at the Cartwright Club. I'll pick you up around 7.
And what if I say no?
You can't say no until you pick which one of us you want to marry. It was nice meeting you, Snowy White. If you want me to get started remodeling your apartment, just let me know. Here's my card. Call me anytime.
Imogene is waiting.
My uncle sure knew some amazing girls. That Cindy was a cyclone. I just feel like I've become another file card in her life.
I'm Dr. Parker. Imogene to you, Snowy. I hope Cindy didn't make you too uncomfortable. But if she did, I'm here to make you feel comfortable. Please, Snowy, sit down and relax.
Well, what kind of a doctor are you?
A psychiatrist. I charge $50 an hour. Imagine, if you married me, you'd have your own personal psychiatrist, 24 hours a day.
You give up your practice?
I might. I think it might be fun to start a new life. The wife of a millionaire. Of course, I'd be happy to help you with emotional problems, help you get your head straight.
Thanks a lot.
You can talk to me. People tell me all sorts of things. Why, just last week, a man told me he was in love with his goldfish.
And what did you tell him?
I told him it was all right.
What?
I didn't want him to have any guilt feelings.
Oh,
You look like you have a lot of problems.
6 to be exact.
6?
6 girls Uncle Otto wants me to choose from.
But that's only temporary. Besides, the decision should be easy.
It should?
Of course. You should choose the girl who can help you the most. You look very tense.
I'm still trying to recover from Cindy.
Yes, she certainly is an aggressive female.
She certainly is. She even made dinner reservations for us at the Cartwright Club tomorrow night.
You won't even be hungry.
I won't?
No, you're having lunch with me at the plaza at 1.
I am.
Of course. I canceled 2 more appointments. I think you're relaxed in that kind of white tablecloth flowers atmosphere. This atmosphere has too many remnants of the past and too much clutter.
And that's the way I like it.
It's a key to your personality.
It is?
Of course. Very revealing.
So what do you have in your house?
I'll invite you to my house for dinner sometime soon, and you'll see. Oh, I have to run. I have a patient waiting. She called me at 2 this morning and cried on the phone for 39 minutes. Goodbye, Otto.
How did you know my real name?
I was your uncle's psychiatrist. Besides, he talks in his sleep. He told me all about you. See you tomorrow for lunch, 1 o'clock. Please don't keep me waiting. I have a patient at 2. One of my favorites. A former movie star. He drives a cab and he's very unhappy because no one recognizes him.
Imogene, who's next?
Wendy. I don't see how a girl like that could ever compete with Cindy and me. See you tomorrow, Otto.
Ouch. What an awful thing to do to a kid. To give him a name like Otto. I grew up fighting, let me tell you. Kids were always making fun of my name. No, don't tell me. I can guess. You're Wendy.
Right, and you must be Snowy. Oh, you poor man.
What do you mean, poor man?
What this place needs is a woman's touch.
I've already been told I should redo the whole apartment. Put filing systems here, and there, and everywhere.
Suggested by Cindy, of course.
Of course.
Well, I have a much different approach. I'm not a businesswoman at all.
You have?
Yes, I just want to straighten the place up a little bit. Now you just sit down and take it easy.
The last girl told me that. Wanted to straighten out my brain.
Oh, not me. I just want to straighten up the apartment. You know, this is a nice place. All it needs is...
I know, a woman's touch.
Yes. Now, after I'm done cleaning the apartment, I'm going to cook for you. Just a minute.
What's all that? Your lunch?
No, silly, your dinner.
Oh, wow.
I bet it's been a long time since you've had a good home-cooked meal.
Yes, but.
No buts. I am going to cook for you. I know what a man likes. I bought a big, juicy sirloin steak, and I'll have onions and potatoes. Oh, and I'll make a salad. Let's see, I have lettuce and tomatoes and anchovies and onions.
Oh, so you didn't have to go through all the trouble.
Oh, and I don't mind, and I'm going to bake you the best chocolate cake you've ever had. And after we're done eating, well, then you can give me any mending you have, and I'll sit and keep you company. I love listening to a man talk.
You certainly are different from from Cindy and Imogene.
I'm just an old-fashioned woman. None of that woman's lib stuff for me. I love to cook, sew, clean, keep house. I never want to be a liberated woman. I just want to get married and take good care of a man.
And $1 million.
Well, that happens to be an added bonus. I'll take these into the kitchen and get started on dinner. Linda wants to see you next because she has a date at the tennis court in 20 minutes.
So a tennis player is next in the program.
Yes. Oh, do you want baked potatoes or French fries?
American fries, real thin slices.
Sir, you're wish is my command.
How'd you like that? There's one for the books. A girl who likes to cook and clean. Wait, I can guess. You're going for a game of golf?
You look like you could use a good game of golf or tennis or something. My, your muscles are so flabby.
They are?
Terrible. You're in terrible shape.
I am.
What you need is a good exercise program. Sit-ups in the morning, a morning swim, a game of tennis, more exercise in the afternoon, jogging?
I think I'm getting tired already. I think I better sit down.
When was the last time you played tennis?
I think I was 2 years old.
What?
Well, it has been a long time.
In the winter, you should go ice skating and skiing. It's terrible to let your muscles get all...
Flabby?
Yes. I'm going to plan a whole new life for you. Oh, and don't make any plans for tomorrow afternoon between 3 and 5. I've made an appointment for you at my health club.
Well, thanks,
Sorry I'm in such a rush today.
So am I.
Denise and her photographer friend are waiting.
I'm getting very tired.
If you ate the proper foods and had the proper exercise, you'd never be tired. See you tomorrow, Snowy.
All these girls want to change me. Change the way of my living. I know one girl likes me the way I am. Amy, don't hang up. Yes, I've met some of Uncle Otto's girls. You have? You've been in the lobby and saw them all? Yes, I think they're pretty, I guess. But you can't imagine what they're like. No, I'm alone right now. Oh, wait, there's Winnie Haasfrau in the kitchen. But you're wrong, I do need you. You shouldn't feel that way about Uncle Otto's millions. In fact, I'm beginning to feel very unfriendly toward Uncle Otto. Oh, here comes another one. Amy, please come over right away. I need you. I feel like a man being drowned in the swimming pool. But I don't want all those girls rescuing me. Amy! She hung up?
Oh, Jim, he's perfect.
Perfect? All the other girls seem to think there was something wrong with me.
I think you'll be very photogenic. What do you think, Jim?
He'll do.
Maybe we'll be on the cover of Modern Living magazine together. You and me, Snowy.
Oh, should I change? Put on a tux or something?
Oh, no. I want people to see the real you. Isn't that right, Jim?
Yeah.
I'm so nervous.
Oh, why? This should be old stuff. You.
No, your Uncle Otto always had me photographed with cats or dogs. Haven't you seen my latest photograph in Pet Magazine?
Oh, no, I haven't.
I was Miss Meow in September.
Yeah, they gave her 10 boxes of cat food. No cash, though.
And I don't even have a cat. I hate animals.
Oh.
But I never told Uncle Otto.
Well, I love animals. In fact, I have 6 dogs and 9 cats, and one of the cats is about to have a litter.
Where? Where are they?
They're in my country home. One of my secretary is going to bring a few of them in tonight. I just love my animal family. I feel so lonesome without them.
How horrible! Jim, let's go. I couldn't stay not for another minute. 6 dogs, 9 cats, I'd die.
That was a nice short interview.
Snowy, dinner will be ready in a couple minutes, so if you want to start getting ready.
I forgot to tell you, when I eat potatoes, I break out red spots, and I hate steak because when I was a kid, I got scared by a cow.
But why didn't you tell me? Or are you telling me something?
Uh-huh. Well, thanks a lot, Wendy. You really are nice.
Well, I tried.
I'm getting tired of this whole business. I've had it. Okay. Oh. Think there's one more?
Yes. Yes, Elizabeth. Uncle Otto called her the brain.
I'm in no mood for a smart woman. Couldn't you tell that I went out? Disappeared?
No, not fair. She's been waiting. Bye, Snowy. If you get hungry, there's the steaks in the oven, and it's almost ready. Bye, Snowy. Your turn, Elizabeth. Boy, is he in a bad mood.
I can't find it!
Maybe I can help you.
I can't find my comic book.
Comic book?
Yes. Didn't Uncle Otto tell you about me?
Well, he said you were irresponsible and sometimes childish.
He did he?
You don't have to put on an act. Not for my benefit.
Wendy said you were smart.
You weren't really looking for your comic book, were you?
No. Oh, Amy, I'm so glad you're here. Elizabeth, I'd like you to meet the girl I'm going to marry.
But Snowy, you can't. Uncle Otto called me the brain. I'm smart enough to know it's time for me to leave. Goodbye, Snowy.
Now, Snowy, you can't just get rid of all these girls, just like that.
I just did.
But the $1 million!
I just turned it down.
But nobody turns down $1 million.
I did. I'll be famous for doing it, too. I get more bookings than I can take care of. The publicity will be great. I'll call a lawyer and tell him right now.
He's waiting for you in the lobby. Said he had a few papers for you to sign and was waiting until the girls left.
Well, then I'll call him and tell him to come right up. Yes, is Mr. Randall in the lobby? Oh, yeah, could you tell him to come right up? Thanks. I'm sure.
I believe you have some news for me.
How'd you figure that out?
Well, the last two girls came downstairs in quite a hurry, and,
Oh, yes. Me and Amy are going to get married. I don't want the $1 million. If I had the $1 million right here, I'd throw it out the window. I don't want the $1 million, and I don't want any of Uncle Otto's 6 girls.
I'm still not sure it's the right thing to do.
I'm sure.
well, your Uncle Otto anticipated this move.
What? I don't know what kind of a man Uncle Otto was, but it doesn't matter. Snowy turning down $1 million will be great publicity, and he'll become rich and famous on his own.
Exactly how the late Otto S. Runkenfeld envisioned it.
What?
I have it all here. In the event that my nephew is smart enough to turn down all 6 of my girls and the $1 million, he can use this as the greatest publicity stunt of his career. He will get many offers and become rich and famous as Snowy White, the great entertainer.
You mean he wanted me to turn down the $1 million?
That's right.
And the 6 girls?
Yes.
It's crazy.
Runs in the family.
Wait, there's more. Snowy should pursue his career for 5 years, during which time the $1 million will be invested. And in 5 years, he will then gain control of the $1 million plus the interest and dividends accrued. You see, your uncle wanted you to work and accomplish something on your own, like he did.
Your uncle was a smart man.
Runs in the family.
There is one more provision, if I may call you Otto.
Otto?
Did you have to tell her?
Otto?
Oh, I was named after Uncle Otto.
Yes. If my nephew gets married and has a son, he must name the child Otto.
No way. Will I ever do to this? That's son of mine.
Don't worry about it.
What do you mean, don't worry?
We're only going to have daughters, and I already have their names picked out. Cindy, Wendy, Imogene, Elizabeth, and Denise.
Oh, Amy, what's in a name?
It doesn't matter, Otto.
Ouch. Oh, could you marry a man named Otto?
If he had $1 million.
Deal.
That's a wrap.
Get the lights up, Brad. That's the curtain.
What?
Pull the curtain again. Pull the curtain. Everybody sit down. Make yourselves comfortable.
Hi, Deb.
No, guys, no messing around. The quicker we get out of here, the quicker we get to eat.
Hold it, yeah.
Okay, is everybody on? 1,
I do
2,
it
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you give us one, please, Bill? Sure, why not?
I knew everything.
Was I obnoxious?
You were obnoxious.
I thought it was beautiful, okay, guys?
I don't want to be screwed around now, okay? I liked it. It was fun. I'm going to let Sean comment first. Please be nice. And quiet in the house for us. Thank you.
All right, so we're 5 of you over there. None of you saw the registered letter?
I wasn't out there.
No, the registered letter, Sean,
You had it with you?
Sean,
I had it with me.
the registered letter was backstage.
Yes,
You
with
reminded me
me.
I went to get him, it was
But
too
Snowy.
late. Because he didn't know it started.
Shut up, Harry.
I had my problems.
Well, that's
He
good.
would never